Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And by the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. Visit gov.ky/steps to learn more. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Hey, good morning. I know it's a morning. I just got to remember where I'm at. And I'm looking across the table to see Dr. Steve McField as we're hosting For the Record for that indomitable spirit of Mr. Ort Connor. I'm going to do my best to get through it. The format is the same. The guests are fantastic. The callers are super. So it's going to be a great day, right, Mr. Steve?
Yes, it should be a great day this morning. Good morning to you too, Mr. Moderator, who's sitting in for the Mr. For the Record.
For Mr. For the Record.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes.
And I enjoy listening to the show. I've had the privilege once or twice in its infancy to sit and help facilitate. But man, I am truly it's inspired to be here. So, Miss Susan, with your direction, your guidance, how do we do it, ma'am? How do we do it? You know? And it's a Friday. What better day? Maybe every Friday should be a holiday.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you're driving into work. I know traffic is bad. There's an accident. I'm prayerful it's not anything serious. The roads are wet. Hopefully you get there safely. It's not at all cold unless you're in the studio here. But it's going to be a lot of love in our heart. So we're going to have you laugh along with us, learn. And I sit opposite Mr. Steve. Going to be better. So we got that tradition that's been set for the birthday shoutouts. What do you think, Mr. Steve? You have a regular fixture here?
Yes. Unfortunately, it's not my birthday yet. Yes.
Well, I managed to get one every year, God's willing.
Yes.
So, but it's not mine either. All right, so the birthday shoutouts are brought to you by Pizza Boat, right? Now in Queens Court and West Bay Road. This is hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Pizza Boat makes pizza even more fun. Pick up a delivery. You even got a telephone line. 949-0000. 4 zeros. You can order online, pizzaboat.ky. Huh. We used to own that domain one time, eh? Not anymore. Not going there. All right. So I've got the birthday shoutouts. But Miss Susan, I got to put on my glasses so I can read them. Unless you want to read them for me. Want to read them with me? Want to read them to me? Come on. Let's do it together. New host, new day, a new play. Let's do it together. All right. So, do we do it for today? And then we go all the way? We got lots of shout-outs, man. Maybe I'll do that. She sent it to me. So, Mr. Steve, perhaps start, as to what is to come and what is to be and what is now and what forever shall be. So it says, happy 66th birthday to the legendary, well-respected, loved, admired, accomplished, influential singer and songwriter, musical composer, record producer, performer, artist, manager, Dean Evanhoe Fraser. Born in 1957 on the 4th of August. Handsome chap. What do you think, Mr. Steve?
Oh, 1957.
That's a good year for a car, 57 Chevy.
Yes. yes.
I still like my 69 RS, but that's okay.
Yes.
All right, so tomorrow we got Patrice Morgan, we got Peter Bramnick, Brennan Valle, Music Versil, hope all the boy. And then later up in August, Miss Susan, come on, should we say some more?
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Mr. McField. Good morning, Sterling.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes.
Thanks for the support always there. And I always like to hear your great voice. I think you have one of the best radio voices that I have ever heard. I think the only other person that I know that has a better radio voice than you was a guy called, can't remember his, Reed. Reed, he was on JBC in the old days when they had the Radio Fusion.
I have to look him up.
Yeah, and his last name is Reed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roy Reed.
Okay, Roy Reed. Okay.
And he had a great radio voice. He had that voice that had to make you stop and listen. And in those days they had a show on radio on JBC called it was called The Greatest Story Ever Told, and it was a story that about Jamaica's history, how Jamaica was conquered, how it was developed, and it was episodes every week, and every week that we would try to wait to listen to see what was next.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And I miss those days, but you remind me of those old great days when you had to have that it to be on radio.
And she has it.
She had that it to be on radio.
Appreciate those comments,
Yes.
Dr. McField. Yeah, celebrating birthdays today, Miss Delia Powery, also Earl China Smith, and Alicia Robinson Cooper on Sunday, August 6th.
Huh.
And now to the sponsor.
Da-da,
That's your
da-da.
job.
And now to the sponsor, Pizza Boat Express. Have you had their pizza?
Not yet, but I will try it.
You know, I will, I love pizza. I try my best to make and I enjoy it. But when somebody else, does it, I do so too. So Pizza Boat is now open in Queen's Court. All right. That's on West Bay Road. And it says hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Pizza Boat makes pizza even more fun. As if it wasn't fun enough as it is. So you can do pick up or delivery, 949-0000 or pizzaboat.ky for your online order. Thank you, Miss Susan.
You're welcome.
No, so I can see why I don't ever take off my glasses. This is, to me, not just an honor, Mr. Steve, to sit in Mr. O.C.'s chair, but to sit next to you, and you're always there. You remind us of the people from whom we come, their industriousness, the resilience, their resolve, that reservoir that's within our people that we can draw from, that inspire us. And it's not the Sparrow song, age is just a number. My friend probably messaged me and said, boy, stop trying to sing. And but it's about being inspired. And it's about being able to contribute. And we can talk about that more as we look at what happened. But we do have a caller. So let's go to our phones. Hey, good morning and welcome.
Well, my God.
You thought I was only...
Good morning, Dr. Matthew.
Good morning, sir.
How are you, sir?
I am so shocked to know that a West Bayer could get up so soon in the morning.
You see, I know you have family connections. You're not careful. I might tell them, come over, we'll bring that time and switch to you. But you were probably shocked to know that I can this energetic, not just at midday, but, midnight as well as, at dawn.
Wow.
Huh.
Good morning.
And to you, sir.
I'm glad to hear Dr. McField, you and Miss Susan on there. That would be a great show, although we miss OC. I don't know where he going, if he don't want to come back or what. If anything, he out to bring tracking down.
Yeah.
But it's so good. Dr. McField, one quick question, sir. Good answer, because you're from the old school.
Mm.
You remember Teacher McField? I know you remember him.
Yes, I do.
But, he and Miss Joyce Hilton, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Many years ago, they had a little program. Those days they were concerned a lot about so many different people coming into our island and littering. Now I drive around the island and I see a lot. You remember those days in Cayman? Saturday evening, we used to rake up our yard and burn the dry leaves and stuff in the yard used to look good for the weekend. I understand now that they don't want you to burn anymore, but then even the caregivers now for the yard, they're not cleaning the place the way that they're supposed to keep them. And I remember Miss Hilton, Joyce Hilton, was saying, what is happening is they need to put a control on so many people coming onto the island and bringing their culture to the Cayman Islands and, disregarding our way of life. Do you have an idea, Mr. McField, sir, or Mr. Sterling, how we could control that with so many different... How much is enough? How much more people can Cayman take? Do you think, Dr. McField, that we are not overcrowded right now? And I'll leave that question.
Well, sir, our statistic dictates and it states that we are growing by 27%. That is the highest growth of any country in the world. And even in other jurisdictions, the growth is between 4.5% to 5%. We are growing so fast now that when the Boundary Commission met and we were examining the growth and because the Constitution dictates that every year that we have to review the boundaries to see whether or not the boundaries need to be revised. We were surprised to see the number of people that have moved into the country and especially going out east. And by the way, the east end of the island is the only place where Caymanians still own large portions of land. I think the only people who outside of the eastern district who owns large portions of land is probably the Wattlers and some of those people, the Berries, and some of those people that own some properties, some large portion of land. And I'm happy to say that I was so impressed that when I went out east that to see the hundreds of acres that Caymanians still own, and that is because that was not accessible to developers. But the problem that we have is that you remember there was an old saying one time, all roads leads to Rome. The saying now is all roads leads to Cayman. And it's because of the economic opportunity that people have. You remember what America said one time when they were developing, during the Industrial Revolution, bring your poor, your fainted of heart and everything, because they were looking for so many people to develop their country. Now they are closing their doors and they say we've had enough. The economic system cannot sustain so many people. Well, between the 1960s, when we opened our door to the financial industry, and now, and we opened and the tourism took off in the country, we imported so many people here, and now it's become a matter of money greed, that the Caymanians now are tired and they are weary and they are bleeding about what has happened to them in their so-called country that they used to own one time, because they do not own anything now. Most of the country is owned by the banks and those financial institutions. And Caymanians now are tied to them. But the problem that we have is that we do not see the problem because we are on the inside. We need people who are looking on the outside to look at the problem and to say enough is enough. Because I keep saying this everywhere I go. If you have enough, what does more means to you? More, if you have enough, do you need more? Because enough says that you have enough. And so what we have now is just greed that has taken over all the world. And the problem that we have now is that we will not, it seems to me, are willing to say, Cayman has enough now, and we are going to shut down for a while, shut our doors for a while, shut our gate for a while to see how we can sustain the growth that we have here now. But we keep bringing them in, and I'm afraid that my grandchildren and your grandchildren and most Kimani grandchildren are not going to be able to enjoy the country that we inherited from our grandparents. You know, when Mr. Sterling, Dwayne Ebanks was announcing the birthday just a while ago, and he said someone was born in 1955. 1957. I was just it just flashed through me. Well, I was born in 1935. That was the age of romance and chivalry and elegance and all those kind of things. I grew up in a time when it was great to be alive, and everybody was looking for an opportunity. Everybody knew what they were going to do. And when I was growing up, I knew where I was going to work. I knew that because I see all of my contemporaries going off to work with national bulk carriers and all those places. I knew that. I knew that I had an alternative. Today, our young people don't have that opportunity, and in fact, what Caymanians, where Caymanians are now, they are living at the base of the economic pyramid, and all the throes of life claws at you when you were living there. You have not the source of wealth, education, opportunity, and land. All of the entities that you need to control one's life. So ownership, advancement, and opportunity, we do not have anymore. That is fading. I mean, when I see all the young people walking around and saying, oh, I got my degree in this and master's degree in this and so forth, and I can't get a job. I didn't have a master's degree when I went off to work. I just had high school. I didn't have a master's degree. And so all of those things must be taken into account. But, you know, I'm just an entity here, a voice crying in the wilderness. And you know what happens to voices crying in the wilderness. You know the scriptures as well as I do. So I'll leave you with that.
Yeah. Mr. George, always a pleasure. We would invite you either to just stay online if you wish to discuss more, but we do have the scheduled break. Do you want to stay and chat more, or you want to catch us?
Yes, I just have something else to say, but I'll wait.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. Well, join us when we return. The excellent company of Mr. Steve, so stay tuned.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series. Brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Lincoln Benjamin Borden, 1899 to 1987.
Mr. Lincoln Borden was a well-known and highly respected citizen of East End. He served as an elected vestryman and justice of the peace for the district for 3 years, from 1956 to 1959. His name is found in the official records of the Legislative Assembly of the Cayman Islands and is listed in the Book of Records for the 150-year celebration of parliamentary democracy. He and his wife, Marcita, had 6 children.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
All aboard the Pizza Boat! Cayman's newest pizzeria. Birthday parties, office luncheons, summer camps, game night. Whatever your occasion, bring the fun with Pizza Boat at Cayman Twist to Pizza. Bringing fusion ingredients from all over the globe to give you locally inspired fresh pizzas all day, every day. What's more, now you can enjoy a boat-shaped pizza with toppings of your choice. It's Pizza Boat. Pizza Boat, now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. Pick up or delivery 949-0000 or order online www.pizzaboat.ky. Pizza Boat. Experience the ultimate pizza voyage.
No, man. I'm tired of seeing a new charge on my phone bill every month.
You are always complaining about that bill. I think it's time you make that switch to Digicel.
I've been with my network for more than a decade. I don't know if I want to move over now.
Well, better later than never. When you switch to Digicel, you get better speeds, more data, and simply more value. Best of all, no dishonest practices. What they say is what you get. Make that switch today and get 50% off your first 2 months.
50% off my first 2 months? Mary, you're convincing me now. Okay, I'll visit a Digicel store near me.
Experience the bigger, better network. Switch your postpaid number to Digicel for 50% off your first 2 months or get a free 30-day Prime bundle for prepaid customers. Make the switch today.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Hello, Cayman. If you have been chosen for the STEPS National Health Survey, thank you so much. But we still need your help. 1,000 more people need to participate in Step 3, the final step of the survey, to ensure that our data reflects the whole population of Cayman. We cannot do this without you. Help us shape Cayman's healthcare services. Say yes to Step 3. For more information, contact the STEPS team on 936-4969 or email mhwsteps@gov.ky.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Hey, good morning and welcome back. And I want you to come join me later on, God's willing, for our regular feature and talk today. But now to be able to sit with Dr. Steve McField, to have the excellent caller online as we continue our discussion. We just want to share quickly before we go to the call, as we do the birthday shout-outs. Mr. Crosby Solomon always also celebrates his birthday together.
Yeah, good. Happy birthday, Crosby.
Yeah, we could have a little fun with him later on.
Yes.
And of course, that's brought to you by Pizza Bodex. Okay, so let's go back to the caller. Thank you, sir, for holding on during the break. You were wanting to share something else, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's a blessing, to listen to the birthday shout-outs in the old Caymanians that we all know, are still, still can celebrate a birthday, stuff like that, Crosby and all of those, because the Caymanians are going fast. Not the McField, what you said just now about our grandchildren and stuff, but that is happening right now because a lot of the children is going off because they don't have no future here themselves in Cayman. And I'm just thinking about the tourism business. Yeah, many years ago, I'm talking about the middle 80s and stuff. When those people would come, you remember coming in from weekends, the Canadian flights and things, the hotels and stuff used to be filled, the taxis had business, you know, it was blooming in the 80s and stuff. We got cruise ships coming in now several days of the week, and they ain't making nothing, you know, and I know other parts of the world that, you know, the government assists these people to survive and stuff. And I know a lot of people down at the craft market, Caymanians, they say they go there in the day from 6 in the morning and sit down till 5 in the evening, $30. Caymanian, they got families, children, rent to pay and different stuff. And they go home with $30 someday. I was talking to one woman a few days ago down by the craft market. She said, I broke the record today. I said, yeah, what do you mean? I said, you made a lot today. She said, yeah, I made 45 US today.
Well, the reality of that, sir, is that the tourists that are coming now are different from the tourists that came in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
They are economic tourists, the same way as we are. They are the poor, most of the poor working class people in America that take in those ships. Those cruises are cheap, $600, $700 for a cruise probably, and so forth. The tourists that came in here, they were people in high bracket economic class, the middle class, the higher class people. You remember Mr. Warren Conley, who was the Minister of Tourism, and even Mr. Jim Borden, who their philosophy was, we do not want any bread and butter tourists, paperback holding tourists coming here because they cannot help us economically. Well, that has changed now. Those people who are traveling on the cruise ships, they don't spend any money. And all of the misinformation that you're getting, oh, they're spending over $60 or $70 or $80 a tourist, that's not true. If that was true, everybody would be blooming, shops would be blooming. For example, I stood out by a few shops one whole day, and I only see about 3 or 4 people went into those stores, and they never came up with a watch or never came up with anything. They just went in, look around, and they came back out. So all of that stuff now that we perpetuating is just fantasy. And you speak about a gentleman, and he was connected with tourism to Teacher McField, an icon in this country. I don't hear much about him, but you remember when he ran the tourist school, he and Rudy Seltzer up at the UCCI College.
Yes, sir.
They ran the tourist school, and they ran the trade school, and they ran all of that stuff that was happening then. But Teacher McField was my cousin, and he was an educationalist here. And I just yesterday is a coincidence that you took out his that you mentioned his name, because yesterday I went to the photographer shop. I had 5 photographs. I had 5 prints of the photographs that I have. August 1960, 1950. A picture of the Cayman contingency of Sea Scouts that went to the All Island Jamboree in Jamaica. In that picture was Buell Jefferson, the financial secretary's father, Warren Bernard, a guy called Harwell Bird from Georgetown that died in New York some time ago, Trenbick Miller that died a couple of months ago, and he and I were the last survivors of that trip. And one of them was Collie Parsons, who got killed with his family on the sports highway. Another gentleman was anyway, it was a whole crowd of us. Teacher McField, Mr. Warren Jackson, and Mr. Melano McCoy were the scoutmasters leading us. And I remember when we went to the camp with hundreds of boys, and we were all dressed in white. And they say, why are you the only scouts dressed in white? And we say, friends, we're Sea Scouts. We're not like ordinary scouts. We are Sea Scouts from the Cayman Islands. And they said, how can you keep those clothes white? And we said, Teacher McField said that we might have to keep these clothes white as pelican, you know what. And we said, and we had to have our shoes shiny. He says, I want to be across the street and see my face in those shoes when you go on parade.
Yeah.
And he was a formidable man, disciplinarian, educationalist, and a perfectionist.
Indeed.
And that he passed that on to me. And a lot of people said to me, why are you always so dressed up, blah, blah. I says, that is because the culture that I lived in those days, I was blessed to live in that culture. And those icons are all gone now. And today we have people who come here and they do not even interested in who Teacher McField or Mr. Warren Jackson or Dr. Melno McCoy were.
Yeah.
They couldn't care less. They only care about that dollar that is higher than most dollars in the world. And that is why people come here.
Mr. McField, thank you for that. And Mr. George, so respectfully, let us just pause to do our headline news, and then when we come back, we'll continue discussions. All right, so we're going in. We'll be back in about 15. Join us.
Thank you, Sterling. And studio time by Foster's is 8:01.
All right, class, pay attention. School is back in session, and it's time to get back to school ready with Foster's.
Foster's is embracing school spirit with all the essentials like backpacks, stationery, lunch kits, and more.
And online, treat yourself to our useful back-to-school lunch ideas at livewell.fosters.ky to turn fresh and healthy into full and focused.
And any parents hoping to spend more time at home, there's always fresh delivery from Foster's Go.
Think you got all of that? We'll test you on it later.
Get ready for a great fresh start with Foster's.
Radio Cayman,
the voice,
the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The opposition slams the PAC leader for not responding to concerns about Cayman's, quote, cost of living crisis.
The Premier needs to act on the issues I raised and tell the country what progress is being made.
The Honourable Roy McTaggart has asked for confirmation that conversations with local banks are continuing. This after Premier, the Honourable Wayne Panton, announced earlier this week that retail banks operating in Cayman are standing by their commitment to implement a 30-day notice period before passing on any rate increases from the U.S., the latest of which occurred on July 26th. Mr. McTaggart has suggested the Premier encourage banks to, quote, proactively consider suitable programs to avoid any further increases in loan payments caused by interest rate rises. He adds this may mean extending the loan payment period or other practical programs to, quote, keep loan payments affordable for borrowers, particularly mortgage holders. Island-wide home safety visits are underway, an initiative by the Cayman Islands Fire Service to increase awareness within the community, particularly for high-risk individuals such as seniors, households with minors, smokers, disabled, and those who reside in timber structures. Speaking on Radio Cayman's Business Buzz, station manager Dwayne Ebanks explains home safety inspections are a major part of their proactive safety education practice.
We would check smoke detectors, your fire extinguishers, make sure any hazards work, deems to electrical, storage hazards, and cooking safety. This initiative, we're trying to reach out to occupants and advise on certain cooking safeties.
Visits began in the Prospect area on Tuesday and will continue over the next 4 weeks. And finally, Jamaican-born singer, recording artist, and winner of Season 5 NBC's reality TV singing competition The Voice, Tessanne Chin is bringing her cultural flair to the Lion stage tonight for Jamaica's 61st Independence Weekend celebration. Radio Cayman's Shanda Gallego caught up with the Jamaican songstress.
Jamaica's Independence Weekend celebration. Once again, it is going to be a jam-packed weekend. What can everyone expect from you.
Well, tomorrow I'm so excited to be here with like a little acoustic vibe. So I have my guitarist Chris here, Fidel, who's one of my supporting vocalists, and Akira, another amazing supporting vocalist, is on her way. And we're just gonna come and have a good time and, you know, do some tunes from the past, do some tunes from the now, and just jam. We're happy to be here, man.
When it comes to Jamaica independence and
Lord
celebration
Jesus.
of it, what does that mean to you? I know that you're patriotic.
Yes, I am.
What does it mean for you?
I'm a proud Jamaican Caribbean woman, you know, and I, as a mother, I appreciate it from a different point of view as well, raising my kids in Jamaica and just the values that we hold, the culture that we have, the food, the people, you know, all of those things come together, and that's what makes me so proud. So
Tonight's free event will also feature performers from 5th Division Band Leroy Evans, Terry Williams, and dance groups. There will also be a best dress competition, kids talent competition, health fair, diabetes, and blood pressure checks. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. India's Supreme Court has suspended the conviction of the senior opposition leader Rahul Gandhi, clearing the way for him to return to Parliament. Earlier this year, Mr Gandhi was sentenced to 2 years in jail for comments about the surname of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which were deemed insulting. Ukraine says it's hit a Russian Navy ship using a sea drone armed with almost half a ton of explosives. The vessel was docked in the Black Sea port of Novorossiysk. Russia said it had repelled a drone attack. Researchers say the average global sea temperature has reached its highest recorded level. According to European scientists, the surface temperature was 20.96 Celsius at the start of this month. They say warmer seas can't soak up as much carbon dioxide. Niger's elected president has appealed to foreign governments to help restore constitutional order in his country after last week's coup. Mohamed Bazoum warned that the entire Sahel region could fall under Russian influence. He remains in detention. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Are you tired of waiting in long lines at the pharmacy just to fill a prescription?
If what, child, let me tell you.
Well, now you can save time and money with ValueMed's online prescription service. Visit ValueMed's new website, valrx.com, and click the Refill Subscriptions button. Fill in your information and choose your preferred pickup location. Or email your prescription refills for ValueMed Walkers Road at rx-wr@valrx.com, and for ValueMed in Boddentown, email rx-bt@valrx.com. Say goodbye to the hassle of waiting in lines and hello to the convenience of online prescriptions with ValueMed Pharmacy. Visit valrx.com to place your orders today.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store, or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old girl this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Grand Cayman, get ready as Roma United Sports Club, Jake and Money, and Kingston 62 present the official Jamaica Independence Celebration. Friday Friday, August 4 at the Lion Center, featuring live from Jamaica, Tess and Chin, alongside the 5th Division Band. Also, Leroy Evans, Terry Williams, and K-Man's Best Dancers. Lots of prizes and giveaways. Kids Talent Contest, Best Dress Competition, and much more. Health Fair from 5 to 9 p.m. Get your PSA, diabetes, and blood pressure check for free. It's Jamaica Independence Celebration. Friday, August 4 at the Lion Center. Sponsored by Best Dressed Chicken, Popeyes, Digicel, Royal Medical, Kmart, Cost You Less, Radio K-Man, Breeze FM, Cayman Airways, iCool Air Conditioning, and Cayman Hair and Beauty Supply.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 82 degrees. Relative humidity is 93%. The barometric pressure is 29.96 inches and rising. The winds are calm. Overnight low temperature was 80 degrees. Synopsis indicate light winds and seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next few days due to a slack pressure gradient over the Caribbean. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the west. Now, the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies, becoming cloudy at times with a 40% chance of showers and some thunder. And temperatures today will be in the low 90s. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Pretty much the same for tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures dipping to the low 80s tonight. Winds will be easterly 5 knots or less, and seas will be smooth to slight with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 11:37, low tide this evening at 5:33, and a high tide again tonight at 11:49. The sun will set this evening at 6:58 and will rise tomorrow morning at 4 minutes after 6. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Sunday morning. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
From your Aunt Angie, don't lie on your resume. Because if you say you've got trapeze experience, someone might shoot you out of a cannon and expect you to do a gymnast routine while flying through the air at 82 miles an hour. And just because you want to land on your feet doesn't mean you will. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance, so you get the best coverage for the price.
Get the best coverage for the price. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking, change your life. Practicing forgiveness is a healthy habit.
As pastor and best-selling author Gary Chapman wrote in his book, The 5 Love Languages, How to Express Heartfelt Commitment to Your Mate, forgiveness is not a feeling, it is a commitment. It is a choice to show mercy, not to hold the offense up against the offender. Forgiveness is an expression of love.
Change your thinking, change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups.
Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. On Course Cayman. Health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at traffic. Coming from the east, traffic is moving on moderately on Shamrock Road. Linford Pearson Highway, little steady traffic. And steady traffic coming off of Bobby Thompson Way as well as off the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way. Slight delays expected. And traffic is also steady on Cool Road heading to Georgetown. And eastbound traffic on Cool Road moving on moderately. As we look to Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is moderate in both directions. Coming off of the Estella Tibbetts Highway, steady traffic but flowing. And continuing on to North Sound Road and the Industrial Park area. Light to moderate traffic flow on Owen Roberts Drive, and no issues coming from the West Bay 4-way stop as traffic is flowing pretty good. Huldah Avenue, a little steady traffic. Have you seen any accidents or incidents on Cayman's roads? Give us a call here at Radio Cayman, 949-6990. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock as we give you another traffic report. Have a good morning and drive safe.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you want to go scuba diving on your vacation, don't bedazzle your wetsuit. You think you look great, but what you don't realize is that you look like a shiny, scaly fish. And it won't take long for a shark to notice you. Next thing you know, you're busting out every karate move you got. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance and get airlifted out to the closest hospital.
Get coverage for emergency evacuations. CG Britke. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. And as we getting into near 8:30, we know many of you are traveling in. We are prayerful for the accidents on the road, and we understand as police are on the scene. I'm told East West Arterial westbound lane, as you heard in the earlier news. But please just be not just careful and considerate, of other motorists and road users, but be very cautious. I know sometimes as I'm sitting in with the privilege of hosting For the Record, I think as Mr. Art Connor will share, having Dr. Steve McField as our guest is always a pleasure. You're not only a wealth of knowledge, right? If I may say, you share with us, you inspire, you encourage, you nurture, you help us to start to think, and you have courage. Hopefully we will see that that's who we are as a people and stop being afraid of our shadows.
Yeah, I hope so. People always ask me, well, what's going to happen when you're not around? I says, well, people like me probably only come once in every century.
Okay.
And I don't know. That's the dilemma. That's the conundrum that I face every day that worries me. What is going to happen to our people 10, 15, 20, 35, 30, 50 years from now? What's going to happen to your grandchildren, my grandchildren, and the other people's grandchildren? That question, that question bothers me even when I go to sleep at night. And I get up in the mornings. I get up in the middle of the night, jot down things that I think about. Sometimes they go away during the day or the week or the month, and I'll pull them out and start thinking again. And the more I think, the more I think, it's the more discouraged I get.
Yeah, Mr. Steve, that is something that maybe we can think about. We have two calls, or one who's just rejoining us to share some thoughts he'd forgotten. And let's take this other one. Welcome, good afternoon, good morning.
Yes.
Good morning. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome. Man, I will get it shortly, before lunch and after.
Okay, well, I'm going to finish up because I might been on too long then. You tired anyhow, and Dr. McField tired of listening to me. But I was just wanted to say that, Doc, there are a lot of people on the island that are not working, and they're on work permits. And the Caymanian people, the Caymanians, the real ones, the natives, are hurting for work, and the departments that is in charge of these people on the island are not taking any steps to rectify this, because, like I said, plenty of people are on work permits and their bosses don't have any work for them, and the little work that the islanders can do, they're going around doing it just for a plate of food, and it's bad. And the island is deteriorating very bad. And I know that the government are helping many of them that are here on the island, and many that needs help on the island are not getting it as Caymanians. So I don't know what you have to say about that, but I'll finish with this, that I'm always glad to listen to Radio Cayman with the Caymanian host. Anytime I hear another host hosting the Cayman radio station to the Caymanian people, I'm not interested. And Radio Cayman is my station, and I hope that all of the hosts that host for the record, for Talk Today, the genuine natives, that the other island native people can enjoy. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. I said too much, so let's hear the opinions of the rest. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too, sir. You too. Talk to you, God's willing, in a bit. But let's take this other caller before we continue the commentary.
Yes.
Hey, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Dwayne. Good morning, OC. Sorry. If you keep doing this switcheroo between you and OC, I want to know who is OC, who is Dwayne, and whether it's morning or afternoon. So.
But see, if the despots that dictate, the direction of the populace, it would seem that this would play into the, their sort of narrative. They've confused us. So at the end of the day, right is wrong and wrong is right. So, maybe we just align ourselves with their world agenda.
Well, I think you are right about that, but I know that there's one thing which is constant and is not confusing me. Dr. Steve will always be Dr. Steve.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, let me, I just have two questions very briefly, and for Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve, I know you did say on a previous program that your report was ready about immigration matters to government. I just wondered whether you are able to say when you might expect a response from government to tell us what their responses to the report are. That's the first question. The second and last one, are you able to say whether you have made any recommendations one way or the other regarding a moratorium on the grant of status, and also one way or the other whether there's a recommendation regarding a cap on status grants? Those are my two questions. I thank you.
Well, Mr. Billy, firstly, some time ago we met with caucus, and we had a preliminary discussion with them about the work we are doing. and they were not too happy about the what we had done so far, and they told us to go back to the drawing board. We went back to the drawing board, and we have been formulating a comprehensive review of the point system of the point system that we have for permanent residents. This leads on to Caymanian status, and I can tell you, this much I can tell you: we have an extensive review, and we are making some drastic recommendations. What I mean, some recommendation to completely review the system. I can tell you that. I cannot tell you what those recommendations are because they have not been published yet. We hope to finish our recommendations probably by the end of September, and then we will have a round of discussion publicly with the Caymanian people, probably on my radio or media, and then we will hear their views, and then their views will be incorporated into the report that we will make to the government. Now, whether the government accepts our recommendations or reject them, that's for them. All we can do is to carry out the tasks that we hope that are in the best interest of the Caymanian people. That is paramount. That is first and paramount. What we are doing is in the best interest of the Caymanian people. And bearing in mind that I don't see too many people, even politicians quoting Section 16 of the Constitution. And just for your information and for the information of the listeners here, I brought it with me because I thought that question would come up this morning. And just let me read what Section 16 says. It says, subject to Section 3, 4, 5, and 6, government shall not treat any persons in a discriminatory manner in respect of the rights under this part of the Constitution. In this section, discriminatory means affording different and unjustifiable treatment to different persons of any ground such as sex, race, color, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, association with a national minority, age, mental or physical disability, property, birth, or other status. And then subsection 3, and you remember this section is subject to that, and it says no law or decision of any public official shall contravene this section. That's the section I just read, if it has an objective and reasonably justification and is reasonably proportionate to its aim in the interest of defense, public safety, public order, public morality, or public health. And subsection 4 says, subsection 1, that's the discriminatory section I just read, shall not apply to any law so far as it has, as the law makes provision for A, for the appropriation of revenue or other funds of the Cayman Islands, or for the imposition of taxation, including the levy of fees for the grants of licenses, with respect. And this is the one that is so relevant and raises the problem that we have today. With no law, Section 1 shall not apply to any law so far as that law makes provisions for with respect to the entry into or exclusion from or the employment, engagement in any business or profession, movement or residence within the Cayman Islands of persons who are not Caymanians. This is the power that our highest law in the land gives a law to us to protect us from the entry, or exclusion from an employment or engagement in any business or profession, movement or residence within the Cayman Islands of persons who are not Caymanians. And that is what we are paying attention to. And I notice with all of the immigration cases and all the hullabaloo before the different courts, I have not seen that section quoted and relied upon. And what our board is doing is we have analyzed that section, and we are making recommendations that reflects what that section says.
Mr. Willie?
Very comprehensive answer, and I know that it's not the first time you have said this, but maybe it's one of the more comprehensive explanations about that, and I thank you for that. But just a small clarification: did you say that you expect in September to conclude your report and hand it to government?
Yes, we expect by the end of September, and I would just like to say, what the conundrum that we face is that other forms of power other than our legislature, other than our government, are determining factors in the development of the Caymanian people, especially the poor or working class. And we are taking that into effect also.
Well, thanks very much, Dr. Steve. Very comprehensive answer. I got more than I expected, but it was all very good. I thank you very much. Thank you, Dwayne, as well.
Okay. No, thank you too for calling, and with great respect, we'll just pause. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion. Please stay tuned.
West Bay Pharmacy. Personalized medicine, customized care to meet your specific needs. Your body is unique to you. Your medicine should be too. Whether you're seeking individual-specific medication, correct size dosages, or simply better tasting medicine, ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about how compounding at West Bay Pharmacy can increase your treatment options, not only for your family, but for your pets too. West Bay Pharmacy, open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Sundays and most holidays from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay Mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
For 55 years, Cayman Airways has been serving as the national flag carrier of the Cayman Islands. This honor is the core of our identity, our purpose. And when we say those who fly us love us, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. So we're celebrating this milestone anniversary with you, our treasured community, with airfares on sale for travel to all of our fall destinations. But hurry, this airfare sale ends August 12th. Call 949-2311 or book online at CaymanAirways.com. Celebrating 55 years as your national flag carrier.
System one loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
And welcome back. Thank you. It is indeed a pleasant, as my friend would say, God morning. I thought it is indeed. We have the excellent company of Dr. Steve McField. Thank you, sir, for sharing with us. Mr. Steve, with respect, sir, just the callers alone, and the last one in particular, there is, without question, a lot of discussion in Cayman about what is happening to Cayman and in Cayman. And sometimes, depending on where we are, there are some people that seemingly would have an insight into, well, what is coming down the pipeline. Just as an example, the real estate sector. We read some reports from the different realtors, and if you look at it, you will see some information. Then you hear increasing conjecture and speculation, and even comments that are made that would seem to be with such authority. for instance, this is going to happen by this time, and you wonder if it translates into the upward sales, the volume, the number of transactions. I say that to ask, I wonder to what extent Caymanians, and the voter in particular, is even cognizant of what's happening, is conscious of the implications of what is being proposed, and are willing to, for want of a better phrase, influence the agenda. Because it's happening with, to, around, and somehow impacting us.
Yes, and that leads to, you remember the caller before last, what he said about the Caymanian people and so forth.
Right.
On the one hand, I can say, as a professional, Sterling, and as an intellectual, I myself have misunderstood the capacity of political awareness. That is one of the great challenges to this generation of politicians. If you have any idea of sociology and social anthropology, you'll know what I mean by that. But on the other hand, on the one hand, he's saying Caymanian people are without work, and so Caymanian people also have to have assertion, have to assert their rights that the Constitution gives them, and they have, and the world has changed so drastically. A lot of Caymanian people have never accepted the change, and they have never kept up with the changes that are affecting them. One of the great changes is the qualifications to do certain things that comes out of the whole education system. We do not do the things the same way that we did in 1950 when I was growing up, or even 1960, or even last month. Every day, the gadgets that they grew up with, the iPhone and all that stuff, it's changing every 6 or 7 months. You hear that this new and this new. We have not caught up with it, and we have not taken advantage of the institutions that allow us to be able to take advantage of those changes. When I go to the UCCI at night, the majority of people coming out there are the expatriate people who come here, and they see that opportunity for the first time, and they're grasping that and grab it. We're not doing that. And we have to do that. We have to do that. And the government has to find a way that they can motivate our people to be able to take advantage of those changes, and then to create the opportunity for them. Because it doesn't, if you educated like the kids that I know coming out of school with a master's degree and so forth, but have no opportunity to use them, that's worse than that's worse. Like, and as you said off the air, they are questioning what's the use of an education then. What's the use of going to all these institutions, getting all these qualifications if I can't use it? We have to have, we ourselves have to be motivated to get the qualifications, and our government has to find a way to give us the opportunity. Those doors have to be open to us to walk into those doors so that we can be just like other citizens in other countries of the world.
Indeed. Mr. Steve, we do have a caller, and we certainly appreciate them sharing their thoughts with us. Good morning, welcome. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. You're so used to being on the afternoon show.
You know?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Good morning to the Honorable Doctor there.
And Lord Mayor, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. My call was supposed to be earlier because I wanted to ask Dr. McField to get to that section 16 from the Constitution. But apparently, when I was jumping into the car, I heard him was finishing off on it.
Yes.
Two things. Now that we know that not even to the courts exercise that particular section, I would ask Dr. McField, within his presentation to the government, he must first educate the elected members of that section, because maybe they too are not familiar with that section of the Constitution. So I would ask that he try to educate them in that section. Another thing, he mentioned that the report won't be ready until around the end of September. I would hope we could speed that up because, as you know, once the report gets submitted to them, then it'll be a lot of drag in the foot, and this administration might actually be out, and nothing, get done concerning the recommendation. So I think we need to speed that up and try and get that before whoever got to go to try and get it approved as quick as possible.
Well, Lord Graham, it has to be the clearest understanding outside of politics that once we hand the report over, it is up to the people of the Cayman Islands to make sure that their politicians either agree, disagree, or reject or scrap the report. That is not for us. So we're hoping. I'm not say we. I am hoping as chairman of the Point System Committee Review Committee. I am hoping that it generates a people's conference and discussion to find solutions and real solutions. I don't mean quasi pia solutions, as Kimani would call it. Real solutions to the problems. Practical national solutions to the problem that we find. I hope that's what comes out of it, if nothing else.
Well,
and I would be happy to take part in that in that general national conference to find solutions to the problem that we have.
Well, I'm very confident that your recommendation is, like you say, it got to be in the best interest of the Caymanian people, and if your suggestion are in the best interest of the Caymanian people, I don't think that the elected members would have no other alternative but to support the best interests of the Cayman people. And if that's not the case, then we will not be in the best interest of their political career going forward either. So they better approve what is in the best interest of the Caymanian people, or we'll get rid of them.
Yes, but that would be for the Caymanian people. I will have done my part, and I know that the board would have done the committee would have done their part, and it's left up. I know I understand what you're saying about other reports. I have a report now. I think it's from 1995 that was ordered by the late Honorable Tom Jefferson, which is no different. The problem there was no different from the ones that we're facing today. And I pulled that out the other day to look at it, and I was saying, goodness gracious, it's the same era that we're talking about, and nothing had been done about that report, which was a guideline for us not getting into the problems that we're in today. And I understand the history of reports in the Cayman Islands. They're in file number 15.
Yeah. So, I would hope they take it and do what they got to do for the best interest of the people of the Cayman Islands. If not, then I'll be campaigning big time.
Well, there were a few Caymanians today, I say, that stand on the shoulders of those men who came before us. The great Benson Ebanks, Norman Borden, the great Warren Conley, Captain Reed, even Captain Charles Cocornell, even those great people who founded the economic system here, the Honorable Jim Borden and Haig Borden, and so forth. There are very few people who stand on their shoulders now and are looking towards the future. There are so many people now that have wiped out the sands of time, and are trying to rewrite history and rewrite it into the best interests of those who don't have the best interests of the Caymanian people.
All right, Doc. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you very much for calling.
All right. Thanks very much. And with that, Ms. Susan, we take the break. And then we come back, we continue discussion. And this is engaging, informative, and instructive. So join us after.
It's a 24-karat summer with Digicel. In honor of our first truly COVID-free summer, Digicel is giving away $24,000. Be one of 10 to win $2,400 this July. For a chance to win, all you have to do is switch to Digicel, activate a Prime bundle, or simply pay your bill on time. It's that easy. It takes 2 minutes to get $2,400 richer. Make the choice to win today and visit a Digicel store near you.
For 55 years, Cayman Airways has been serving as the national flag carrier of the Cayman Islands. This honor is the core of our identity, our purpose. And when we say those who fly us love us, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. So we're celebrating this milestone anniversary with you, our treasured community, with airfares on sale for travel to all of our fall destinations. But hurry, this airfare sale ends August 12th. Call 949-2311 or book online at CaymanAirways.com. Celebrating 55 years as your national flag carrier.
Hello, Cayman. If you have been chosen for the STEPS National Health Survey, thank you so much. But we still need your help. 1,000 more people need to participate in Step 3, the final step of the survey, to ensure that our data reflects the whole population of Cayman. We cannot do this without you. Help us shape Cayman's healthcare services. Say yes to Step 3. For more information, contact the STEPS team on 936-4969 or email mhwsteps@gov.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Hey, welcome back and a pleasant, can I say good morning? Yeah. My friend, she just messaged, it is, good in the morning, and we have not only 2 calls, but the excellent company of Dr. Steve McField. Let's take these calls. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling and sharing. Hello, good morning. Hey.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. How are you, my neighbor?
Oh, I'm excellent. You know what I mean? It's good. It's good to be part of the day.
Good. Good morning to Mr. Maxfield also.
Good morning, ma'am.
I have a question, and I've been trying to get an answer, and I can't get the one that I think I should get. I just need some advice on the planning. If a development is going down, and does the planning have the right to allow the developer to use whatever law that he desires? Because what I'm speaking about is in 2020, an application was made to planning. We weren't notified. We received no notification. It was approved by the board. And then we, apparently they made a, actually when I saw the first solar mall going on, I realized something was happening. That's when I realized it. And I called planning, and they said that the developers had sent out the notices. Of course, it was during COVID, because we locked down March 16th, I think. The plan was approved in June of 2020. So they said that they used their discretion. They didn't have to notify us. And I did an FOI, asked for the list of the property owners that the developer had notified. Then I was told that the developer had used the one 812B instead of 812A. So I looked at 812B, and it stated that it was for minor things like gates and pools and walls. And I'm like, how can planning justify a development of 192 one-bedrooms to be a minor, minor thing? Then they told me that the developer didn't have to notify us because he only had to notify the adjoining property owners. But I'm like, I don't see how planning could allow them to use that law when it's a brand new application and it has a 450 radius for apartments over 11 and over. And I still can't get, I made a second request, And then they told me then that I would have to go to the Lansing Survey. I spoke to Lansing Survey. No, we don't have any idea who the developer sends us. They asked us for a radius. We give them the list of the people. We don't know who they send applications, the notifications out to. So I made a third request then to planning, and actually it wasn't a third FOI, it was an appeal to my request, my 2 earlier requests, and I haven't heard anything back yet. So I just need to know how planning could justify letting the developer use that part of the law for a brand new application.
Well, ma'am, I wish I could help you. I would like to answer your question, but unfortunately, I'm not able to do that. I wear another hat, and that's because I am the chairman of the Planning Appeals Tribunal. And if I say anything, it might be a conflict of interest, and I will probably lose my job, because any questions you have that you're not satisfied with may be an appeal matter, and I would then not be able to do it, and especially giving you advice on the radio, that would be not kosher, and so I really, really can't help you. Perhaps you should seek out the advice of an attorney somewhere in the public sector, in the private sector, and ask them. Unfortunately, I really can't do that, because I also happen to be not only the chairman of the Permanent Residence and Status Board, but I'm also chairman of the Planning Appeals Tribunal.
That I wouldn't have put you in the spot like that. But I'm not going to stop fighting. So.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
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 Thanks again. Thanks again.
Okay,
and this is where I think, as we've alluded to, we'll take the other call in a second and come back to this, but so many of us as people generally have concerns, but probably unaware how to navigate the system, who to turn. And as the lady very honestly shared her apology, had she recognized that was one of the many hats to you wear, she would have asked that. Again, the respect that she has, not just for you, but for the system, but probably appreciative of, I'm not sure what to do. I've tried to ask what I thought in a way I think, and maybe not feeling, a certain level of reprieve, but we'll get there. Let's take this other call, Ms. Susan. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am doing well. I am doing very well, and it's good
Thank God. Yes.
to speak with you, and of course, Dr. McField. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Dr. McField, I have a concern, and I know that, and this is not in any way meaning to be mere flatter, but I know you're a wise man, and I want to sort of have your feedback on it. Hopefully, it's not going to clash with any of your other appointments. But I did see where recently I read where there were plans, or at least it might have been a suggestion, a proposal, that for a new terminal, when I said terminal, which would be built particularly for private planes that arrive in Cayman. If I'm quoting correctly,
that's called a general terminal.
The general.
That's called a general terminal. Yeah, so it's mostly for private aircrafts.
Okay. I think I saw a figure of $42 million, which they thought would take care of that. I'm sure that those who arrive there fall amongst those that are very, very wealthy. We want to accommodate them in housing that is, nice. We have a beautiful terminal there, otherwise. But I'm thinking about priorities at this moment. And when I think of $42 million, how long does anyone who arrives on a private plane stay within that particular area? They're in and out of there in in short order because there's no line, there's no queue. It's not that you have a private plane arriving every half an hour or probably even every hour, I don't think. But be that as it may, I don't think it takes long for them to go through immigration and customs and then on their way. To spend $42 million on that, when on the other end of the spectrum, we have Caymanians, young Caymanians, many of whom are becoming discouraged, depressed, hopeless, because they do not see a future for them. I want you to think about this. $42 million would go a long way. We can improve that facility. Don't get me wrong. We can improve that particular facility. But I don't know that we need to go to any, within any extravagant changes to accommodate these individuals who are only there for a short term. And quite frankly, I've managed condominiums where, I've seen individuals of great wealth, but this does not make all of them fall into the category where they think everything must be just right and it must cost a lot. I've seen many of those who will say, where can we go to get we just want to go to a restaurant, just a nice rustic restaurant overlooking the water where we can get some local cuisine. They will ask for it. I know that the individuals, I've known them, and this has happened more than once. They're not always looking for gold-plated everything. Comfortable, convenience is what I think should be the order of the day for any changes in that particular facility. But back to the young Caymanian. If you spend $42 million as a government, earmarking, and if possible, purchasing property, I don't think there's much left in West Bay to purchase, to be honest with you. Not any large tracts of land.
Yeah, ma'am. The questions about the airport would take so long for me to explain to you. But I'll just say this to you. During the time that the airport became an authority by itself, when it was split off from the regulatory side, in 2001, 2002, I had been deputy chairman of the board from that time. Up until 2013. Was it 2013? That's right. And while they were contemplating about reviewing and redoing the airport, I was in charge of that. And that was because the chairman of the airport had a brother who was one of the bidders there. And so the board put me in charge of the development of the airport. We've had so many people come from Canada, different places, and they all wanted to develop the airport at an enormous cost. I remember one of the costs of developing the airport was $240 million, and I said that kite not flying here today. That and they want us to give them control of our airport for the life of the loan, and we say we'll never give our airport up the control to any other entity, because we have been managing that airport from 1952 when it opened, and we are not going to do that to anyone. I was not liked very well, in that group of people. And we had a plan to develop the airport, to go upstairs, put a roof on the second floor, put board and bridges, which was going to cost less than $4 million. You could get off the plane on the second floor, come down go through immigration there, come down the escalator to customs and so forth. That was all scrap when we were kicked off the board, or when the government changed in 2013. That was scrap, and for obvious reasons. And they have what they have today. And I have information that was handed to us about the master plan for Dwayne Airport. One of the first things the master planner told us, that because we had not secured the land around the airport for expansion, that we should not go ahead and spend that kind of money on the airport. That we should, and they identified 3 sites outside of Georgetown, which was in the east part of the island. 3 sites that they say would make a great place. Some of those sites were belonged to the government. They had 200 or 300 acres there. We could expand the airport forever. They warned us about this piecemeal development of the airport, which would not last very long. And you can see what happened to this airport now. We put all that money in, and still we got to go get wet in the rain, coming and going to the airplane, which was a disaster. What happens now is that I don't know. I have not been asked for any comment about this development. I know that we are going to need a general terminal. A general terminal is where most of the private planes park their airplanes. I know it brings in very good revenue to the government, to the airport authority, and so forth. And in times when we have a lot of people visiting, it's the place where they have to park their airplanes and so forth. And the facilities do bring in a lot of money. It depends on who controls it when it's finished. But the problem is, ma'am, is that you cannot have the tail wagging the dog. That is obvious. And if you have traveled, like I have traveled, and you have seen the development of airports, sometimes you go to one airport and it looks great, and next time you see they're developing again and again and again and again. The problem is, ma'am, is that the airport now is part of Georgetown infrastructure. And it's my opinion, now not any opinion from anybody else, that what we should have done and what we can still do is that to move the airport from where it is now and build it someplace else. At the time, we had a quote for building the airport. It was going to cost us $200 million to build it out in east. But the problem we had was putting in the road to it, and of course, politicians, if it can't be done in their administration, they will not do it because they need to put their names on it. And that was one of the reasons why it was not done. But I'm not privy to all of the information about it, but I can tell you, as far as I'm concerned, we shouldn't be developing that airport and putting out all that kind of money right now, because we should move that airport for some places, because that would be the best interest of the Caymanian people to do that.
Thank you very much, Mom. And as we go into our news, messages say you are so true. People say she is right. And one of the listeners, as we go into the news, says she is 100% right. A complete waste of time for a few. These are just quick messages coming. But when we come back, let's continue our discussion.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
Allfreg says the average price of regular gasoline has spiked by 6 cents to $5.85 a gallon. Premium self-service is also up a nickel at $6 even. Diesel is $5.43 a gallon, a jump of 2 cents. Allfreg says folks in the BRAC have seen a whopping 15-cent increase to their average, which is now $5.99 a gallon. A Russian naval ship has been damaged in a Ukrainian naval drone attack in the Black Sea, according to Ukrainian sources. The assault reportedly occurred near a Russian port, which is a major hub for exports. Russia's defense ministry said it had repelled a Ukrainian attack on its naval base, which involved 2 sea drones, but did not admit any damage. But Ukrainian security services say the ship was hit and suffered a serious breach. And the government of Alberta has pulled its support for a bid to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games due to rising costs. Tourism and Sports Minister there said the bill was estimated at 2.7 billion Canadian dollars, a burden, quote, too high for the province to bear. The organizer of the Games has said it's, quote, sorry to hear that Alberta is no longer developing its bid proposal. Last month, Australia pulled out of hosting the 2026 Games in Victoria due to budget blowouts. Those are your headlines. I'm Kersley Fuller.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians, offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI-accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
I am Heather Bodden, MP for Savannah and a lifelong advocate for the environment. Illegal dumping is a crime, so please take civic pride in our home and put litter where it belongs. If you see someone littering, report it to the Department of Environmental Health on 949-6696.
Be a part of the solution, not the pollution. Littering is a crime punishable by a $500 fine or 6 months in prison. Brought to you by the Beautification Task Force and Ministry of Tourism and Ports.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. And it truly is an honor to be able to sit with us and talk today. And God's willing to be a part of that later on. You join me. But to be here in this privileged position to facilitate, to sit in Mr. Ort's chair next to you, Mr. Steve, I'm saying this mindfully. Talk is cheap. It's time for positive and, sense of unified effort and action to achieve something that we want in Cayman. A sense of unity, love, harmony, social, economic, political stability. But it almost pains, as I listen to you, one's heart to see how many are willing to let others make the effort. If it comes to some good thing, they'll join in the celebration. If it doesn't, they say it wasn't me. Maybe we should give that person the nickname Shaggy. But then, as my friend told me, we do have some of the callers joining us. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, there you are, Mom. Yes.
Okay. Am I on there then, Sterling?
Yes, Mom. Yes, Mom.
Okay, thank you. Just a short continuation with what I was speaking about. Number one, the $42 million that I mentioned, and then I mentioned buying property. I am hoping that no one might have misunderstood me as saying that I was advocating purchasing property to expand the airport outside of where it is now. That was not what I was speaking about. I'm speaking about the opportunity that might still be there to purchase property earmarked for Caymanians, young Caymanians, underscore 10 times Caymanians.
No, you were very clear, Mom.
You were clear. You were clear, ma'am.
Yes, Mom.
You were clear, but just let me.
In order for them to have a space to put a house, or government can put together a plan. We know that there's no expansion of land. We have a small place. Dr. McField, with all due respect, there's some things that we can't change that happened in the past. And I, for one, would not be in agreement for moving the airport. It is absolutely, to me, it does not make financial sense to do that. But let me not get into that. My main reason for calling is this. There has to be a plan about what we're going to do for our young people in Cayman. you will notice that all of the infrastructure, the new development, is geared toward individuals who can pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a unit, an apartment. Forget about how much land you can get to build on which to build a house. And Caymanians need to have something whereby they feel we're still a part of this. This is still our home.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do something finally to help us. Even imagine what you will need to make in order to purchase an apartment in today's Cayman.
Yeah. Thank you.
This is where I am moving about spending $42 million. I understand about needing space for private planes and all that to park. But how many jobs will that provide, number one? And number two, no matter how much income we get from that particular entity, how much does that help the young Caymanian who needs to look for something for his or her future?
Indeed. Thanks very much. And before we go to the calls, Mr. Steve, sorry, you wanted to share something?
Well, I agree with her. I agree with some of the stuff she says, but I think that she does not really understands the nuances surrounding air navigation and airports. I didn't know much about it either until Dallas-Fort Worth Airport put on a seminars on airport operations,
Mm-hmm.
and the seminar was in Montego Bay for all the airport executives around Latin America, South America, and the Caribbean. And I went there because when I went there, the person who was the acting director of the airport then, Sambola.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Well, you come on here. You're deputy chairman here, but do you know what you're director of?" And I said, "No, I really don't." And I went and took the course, and I have my certificate, so I know what it means. But I know how airports operate. I know what it means. We are going to have to do something about that airport within the next 10 years again.
Yeah. And that's a discussion that has been.
But her statement about buying land, unfortunately, the Caymanians did not understand that land is the whole basis of Western philosophy, Western economic philosophy. With land, and now I know why the old people kept their land. They were not wealthy in money and position, power, and social position, but they had their properties, and I understood it today. And we just gave it away to buy a car, to travel, to go to Miami, and so forth. And now it comes back to bite us. But we have some young good ministers, and one of them is J. Ebanks, Honorable J. Ebanks, who is trying to start something like a land bank to have land for Caymanians to go. But Caymanians have to understand that you can't have your cake and eat it too.
You can't sell
your land and keep it. And that's a problem that we did. That's a problem that we did.
And don't criticize those who do, right?
And those who bought the land, they understood what the meaning of land, what it meant. It means everything, and that's why if you study the history of the world, you'll see whole nations were invade other people about what? Land and water and food. Food to eat, grasses, places to grow, cultivate, water to grow, to eat, and land to live on for their people.
That's what about conquering lands, right?
Yes, right.
All right. Susan reminds us not paying attention. It is morning.
Yes.
And it is time for that scheduled break. Let's do that. And when we come back, we'll enjoy you too.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens. And usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Yo, big up Massive. Summer is here and Digicel got the vibes flowing straight to Jamaica. That's right, me people. Digicel has a sizzling offer for you. Top up for your loved ones in a Jamaica and you get a chance to win the ultimate trip to the land of sun, sea and good vibes. To enter for the free trip to Jamaica, just send top up to your loved ones back home with Digicel and you automatically qualify. Remember, the more top up you send, the higher the chance you win. So make sure you don't miss out on the fun. Me people, get the summer vibes flowing with a top up for your loved ones with Digicel and get ready for a trip of a lifetime.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
A pleasant good morning. Welcome back. Always, I think every one of us always appreciate the excellent company. If he would not mind, only because we know, as he shared with us, his age, but certainly not the energy and not the enthusiasm, not the industriousness. Mr. Steve, sir, thank you very much for encouraging us. We have 4 calls, and you gave me permission to share that he's going to have to leave by about 9:45, 10. So let's make sure that we make the best use of his time. And all of our callers, if I might, take license. Say your points, say them as quickly as we can, so we can get to everybody. That be fine, Miss Susan? Okay. Welcome. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sterling.
Hey, my bracket friend. How are you?
I am good, my friend. I am good. I hear you saying good afternoon there a lot, but anyway, I understand.
Oh, you should wait for a few minutes and I might say something else.
Yeah, good night. Morning, doctor.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, just wanted to comment there with what Dr. C was saying, because some weeks ago there when the minister for tourism on, I called him and asked him the same question regarding the air terminal there in Grand Cayman. Like what Dr. C was saying, when they had a second level, instead they had stick to that plan and had put the jetways from that level, they turned around and built what looked like a warehouse, but anyway. And I got discredit something that in our own country. But at the fact of knowing that they're spending $42 million on something that they're not certain of, and why I say certain and they're not certain of, at any given time, those airlines can pull out of Grand Cayman, and why I say that is they don't have the security of the people, the passengers coming off of those U.S. flights, Southwest, JetBlue, American Airlines, those in United, those passengers are coming off in the rain or whatever, where we don't house know, but they're coming off in the elements of what they don't want. Some want hot sun, some don't want it. But is it going to be beneficial for the people of the Cayman Islands? We find our politicians focusing on so much material things in the Cayman Islands and are not focusing on the children. I am so upset sometimes when I see 1 or 2 students that are eligible for scholarships to go to colleges. Like I keep saying quickly, Sterling, I see my children in colleges and they come back and the government struggle to give us jobs. Our politicians are so caught up with these material things and they're not worrying about the people of the Cayman Islands. That is my deepest concern this morning. Is for that they need to stop, they need to slow down and stop trying to get everything injected within the next 2 years to make the people see that they did something in 2 years. They need to slow down and take one day at a time and start focusing on the young people for this country. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you too. And let's take these other calls. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing with us.
Yeah, morning.
Morning. What's up, man?
Good to hear you in the morning, Mr. Sterling.
Thank you. Good to be heard in the morning as well.
Hey, yeah, morning. And good morning to you, Mr. McField.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Any specific topic on today?
No, we were kind of just then having a discussion about value for money, the importance of infrastructure projects, the longevity of such an investment, and in particular focusing on the proposed expansion of the airport, given that we just spent maybe 100 plus million on what we have now, wondering what the lifespan would be and how would it impact us, whether it would be beneficial to rethink our proposal. So, a couple of people, whether on air or via phone call or on a messaging, not necessarily supportive of the tens of millions that are being proposed for the expansion.
Well, those airplanes, by the way, they're gonna have bigger wheels, right?
Bigger wheels?
Yeah.
Will the food be any better?
That they're stretching the airport for.
Okay.
They're gonna have bigger wheels, that question.
All right. Talk to me.
The 100 million sounds so nice. Not my money, but well, I guess we're borrowing it.
It's yours, man.
But if we tend to just invest a little bit more in our education, rather than importing education, you don't think that would be a lot more cheaper than aiding a bigger aircraft coming in our island?
Well, the question is, can we do all those things? But, Mr. Steve?
Oh, well, I don't think it's a question of investing in our education, because when I look at the newspaper, I see every week, every time there are scholarships, full $75,000 to go to this school, to go to this place. I don't see too many of them being taken up. I don't see us producing the kind of professionals that we need to sustain the system in which we live in. One doctor said to me the other day, for instance, and this is just one example, and I happen to use this example a lot because I'm a professional person, and so is my children. He said that there are over 55, it's probably about 60 now, dentists registered in the Cayman Islands, and there's only one. Why is it that more Caymanians don't take up that profession? Why is it that they have all these high schools? This educational system is ranked with some of the best schools in Cayman. We have 2 colleges, and I don't see too many Caymanians flocking there. Caymanians should be going there, that they would have to have special tents to keep them to have lessons under. I don't see them taking that opportunity. I wish we had that opportunity in the 1940s and 50s when I was growing up. So we have a good education system. We have all the private schools, so many of them. I don't see the Caymanians taking advantage of that, because that's not our priority. We rather have the cell phones and the BMW car that we can't afford and all those sort of things. That's what our priorities are. We are on the fast hot line, like we have seen other societies, and we don't even look at the end product for them. They are all disintegrating right before our eyes, and we're not using those examples of them so that we can effect the motivating education transition that we need for Caymanian lives. So don't come to me about that, because I see all that scholarship money be begging for the scholarship for this, for that, and I don't see Caymanians rushing to get them.
Well,
what we don't have is the opportunities, the doors open for us. That's what we don't have. I would be concentrating on that more because we have the education opportunities.
Yeah, well, Mr.
So we have to step up to the plate too. We can't be bleeding, and you can't be bleeding and pleading, sitting on our porch and talking to each other and sending text messages to each other, complaining. That's not going to help.
Yeah. Well, Mr. McField, with all respect, I have your phone number. We met already. It's Alejandro talking.
Mm-hmm.
I will be contacting you, getting a little bit of suggestions.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks, sir. And maybe we can take another caller, sir.
Yes.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello.
Hello. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Hi. Good morning, Sterling, and to the esteemed doctor.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, Dr. McField. In regards to the airport planning, I would have to agree with you. While I understand the sentiment that the lady had called in about keeping the airport in Georgetown, we have to take a long view, and that has been some of the weaknesses that we have had traditionally as Caymanians. We need to take a long view. I was meeting with one of our mutual friends this week, Dr. McField.
Yes.
And he put it quite clearly and succinctly. He said, it's not about me and you anymore. It's about our children and grandchildren. And in this vein, I think that we need to look elsewhere and take an example as how they have developed their infrastructure. For example, I've been to St. Lucia several times, and the old airport is still there in Castries, and it's general aviation and small aircraft. But what they did in the south of the island, which is much farther than East End, they put their new airport called Hewanora. Now, Cayman is not a large place, and with the new east-west arterial and the improvements that we hope will come with that and the ground transportation, etc., I think we should be looking at a plan for eventually placing our main international airport out east, as was recommended in that study that you and I know about.
That's right.
And we need to start thinking about things over a 10-year horizon or 15-year horizon, whatever it is, and start doing a little bit every year. And therefore, in time, the present airport can become a general aviation terminal for cargo and smaller aircraft, and more of a domestic airport as well.
That's right.
That is my view on this, and personal view. And as you know, I have somewhat of a background there in aviation.
I know a tremendous background in aviation.
And with some responsibilities there at one time for air navigation, and going around the region, Cuba, and I was recently in Brazil on a private matter, and you can see how countries have developed their infrastructure. It doesn't happen overnight. And my own personal example I like to state is Miami International. I started to go there in 1966 with my parents on the Viscount. And that airport has not stopped building from then because they had a plan.
That's right. Yes.
A long-term plan. And so we need to start looking further than the tip of our nose and project into the future. That's my comments, gentlemen.
Well, just let me leave you with this. What a lot of people do not know, and do not know, when we started to develop the Kimabraka Airport, that has not gone anywhere after we left the board. We also, and I hope he's listening. He could call in to attest to what I'm saying. The Honorable Gilbert McLean, who was the minister then, we put over $3 million into the runway in Little Cayman. That's been roughed in. That's been roughed in. We didn't finish the road to it. That's been abandoned. The airport that they're flying into Little Cayman now is not a recommended airport. It's not covered by the aeronautic rules. And so if something happened there, we're going to have some problems about that. It's on private property. And we wanted to move that to the new airport. We even had a small terminal in Little Cayman design. And like I said, we left $3 million on the ground there, roughing in the runway. And that has been gone by the way. This is how we develop our country. And so I don't expect the caller who called about that to understand that, because I think she doesn't have our experience. But I hope that she will listen and try to learn from us, and especially from you, I think, who lives in her district too.
Well, sir, I no longer live in our district, but okay. I agree. I am from there. But I agree with you that a lot of expenditure was made in Little Cayman at the time, in the early 2000s when Mr. McLean was.
That's right.
Was in cabinet and had the responsibility for aviation.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're most welcome, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Thank you.
And to you, brother. Thank you. Respectfully, Mr. Steve, we just going to quickly take this break. I know you're going to leave in 15 or so, but we'll take the calls if they're able to hang on. Join us right after.
Hello, Cayman. If you have been chosen for the STEPS National Health Survey, thank you so much. But we still need your help. 1,000 more people need to participate in Step 3, the final step of the survey, to ensure that our data reflects the whole population of Cayman. We cannot do this without you. Help us shape Cayman's healthcare services. Say yes to Step 3. For more information, contact the STEPS team on 936-4969 or email mhwsteps@gov.ky.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget, our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
I won't say buenos dias, but I'll say good morning. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us, and thanks too to Mr. Steve McField for sharing with us. We don't just affectionately call him Dr. Steve. We do that with great honor and respect, as he has been bestowed in an honorary doctorate, and it's very, very grateful that you continue to wear the many hats and make yourself so available. Sir, we do have a couple of the callers, and to our callers, Mr. Steve has a very important commitment in short order, so we won't keep him beyond the next 15. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Good morning, Dwayne.
Morning, Mr. John. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. George Ebanks. Dr. Steve, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ebanks. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I was just thinking, we have a very serious problem in this country in regards to our own people being able to afford property. We are not, you cannot, school leavers coming out of school and other young people, including the elderly, if you want to buy a piece of property in Cayman, you cannot find it. You can find it, but you can't afford it. What I'm actually suggesting this morning is that I think that we have a lot of large tracts of land owned by foreigners, and it's just owned and held on a sort of speculative basis. And I think that land holdings by foreigners in a parcel over 2 acres must attract an annual tax based on the market value of that property. And this would be an annual tax that would be received by government from the large foreign landowners, and because they are investors really, and then that would force them to decide a few things: whether they want to buy the land at all, and if they want to buy, and actually quickly develop the land, thus creating economic activity and jobs, and then the government can use that land tax to do a few things, such as setting up a sinking fund of sorts to assist Caymanians in doing some useful initiatives. For example, guarantee loans for Caymanians to purchase property or a home, provide seed capital for Caymanian small businesses to become entrepreneurs, provide suitable housing for needy Caymanians, and of course, free tertiary level scholarships for Caymanians fully paid from that sinking fund. It is time that we protect Caymanians and use our valuable asset that we have, which is a piece of land that is not going to be expanding in any way. But we are now increasingly pricing our own people, ourselves really, out of the market, and we are soon going to be in a I think we are right now, but I think we are headed to an untenable situation in this country where we are not going to be able to afford to live in our own very country.
All right.
Thank
you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Agree with you. But George, be careful when you ban the word around tax. Because maybe you should use the words land duty or something like that. Be careful. Be careful when you because they will start saying bad things about you. Be careful when you start saying tax. Be careful, George.
And as we take this call, I mean, there's that added taxation with the representation, and but we can pick it up. Let's take this call. So, welcome. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning. Thank you for sharing.
Good morning to you and Mr. McField, my good friend there. And I heard him call my name. I'm Gilbert McLean.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And I just felt like I had to call in to say that the things that he was saying this morning with regards to the airports, I didn't hear from when the show began or what was being said, but it is a fact that there's about 2,000 feet of land, government-owned land, running in an east and west direction, which was done scientifically, that was designed, and there's about 2,000 feet of completed bed work for a runway there. It is a fact that there was a design for a small terminal building in Little Cayman. It is a fact that there is not the usual approval, for example, by civil aviation where planes land here in Grand Cayman. The same thing does not apply there. It is private property, and should things happen on that, which we would not want at all to happen, the government is going to have to stand responsible for whatever might occur, injuries or whatever the case may be. We have gone so far in so many ways and just dropped it. The present airport, when I left there and when Mr. McField left there, he was the deputy chairman of that, the Civil Aviation Board. It was a complete design of 2 levels, two-story building that the outgoing and the incoming passengers would not mix, and there was also provision for 4 jetways and 2 that could come later. And when the costing was done then, for the whole project, it was only $80 million. That would be the cost now to put a little addition on, to the present airport. I don't know why successive government administrations do not look at what exists or existed and is still there that could be used. It baffles me. And the man, too, who was speaking of the study that was done where would be the ideal place for placing the major airport in Cayman, all of that is there. It is a matter of doing something about it. And lastly, my friend Mr. McField, he's at an age and stage of life where he can say it just like it is. Not that he didn't before, because he always did say what he thought and the way he saw things. And as we know, that old African saying that the speaker of truth has no friends. But he spoke earlier, and I heard it about the scholarships and so on for that are available here in Cayman. There are scholarships available. Many are available, but we don't seem to be able to get enough of our young people or even middle-aged people to want to educate themselves, to upskill, to do better, to learn what to do that they can become their own masters, their own employers, and so on. You know, it just leaves me sort of frustrated and sad and wondering just what kind of mindset has taken place in, say, the past 15, 20 years. But that's just my little piece this morning, and it's good to hear you there, my friend, and just telling it like it is and telling the truth, and maybe somebody will pick it up and say, well, oh, yeah, you heard so-and-so say such and such. Let's look at it now. Hopefully. But anyway.
Well, Mr. McLean, they're now saying that we're old dinosaurs and that they wanted young people. Well, they have young people now. And but I would say that our wealth of knowledge and your wealth of knowledge of government, you were there in the formative years by some of the best administrators that you learned the nuances of public administration from, and they can never take that from you. And I can say I'm so thankful that you called today, because a lot of people do not know our contributions to the welfare of this country, and I'm so happy that you still and have the, like me, you the body might not be willing, but the mind is forever.
Yes.
It's Frank to say it forever. Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And I know, Mr. Steve, you're leaving shortly, but we do have one more quick call.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Dwayne.
Good morning.
And good morning to Mr. McField.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Mr. McField. Concerning Northwood Prison, which was built in 1981.
Yes.
And right now, is not in good shape. The foundation is still level with the ground. There was to be a tsunami. There's a possibility everyone could be drowned in there. The cell doors have to be opened by the guards with a key. If there's a fire, they have to wait for the guards to come and open their cell doors to save their lives if there's a serious fire in Northwood Prison. This place was built in 1981. A prison inspector came here about 12 years ago and said it's a disgrace that the Cayman Islands has that type of prison. They used to put people in West Bay, lock up for years. And the man said, if you lock anyone in that prison,
there's a possibility they might think about doing suicide. All this money that has been through the government's hands, and why telling about these concessions, giving away concessions to billionaires. Remember, Mr. McField, nobody in Northwood prison was sentenced to death. And tell the government must stop being so worthless. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Unfortunately, I don't know too much about the prison system. I never studied it. Perhaps you could have Dr. Frank come on here one time because he was the charge of the prison at one time. But I would like to say this: the whole 18th, 19th century concept of prison has passed now, long time ago. The prisons now are institutions for rehabilitation to put a person back into society. Once they have atoned for what they have done, to put them back into society so that they can be positive and they can live in society like other people. And it's not about locking people away and all that sort of stuff like an asylum. But I don't know too much about it. I would have to really study the prison system to be able to give a critique about it. But I know that the whole concept of prison has changed so drastically that it's not the way it used to be in the old days.
Yeah. Mr. Steve, I really, really always respect, being in your presence, respect you. But increasingly, two things seem to be almost evident every time we interact. The incredible respect that people have for you, their appreciation for your tenacity and your courage. But secondly, it almost reminds me of the economic principle of the free rider. Many of us are willing and waiting for somebody else to do something. We're coming, we're going to enjoy it if it's good, but we're not going to put an effort and quickly distance ourselves if it doesn't work the way we think it should. With that in mind, what is it going to take for us as a people? And perhaps you can weigh in on it as you share your final thoughts. I don't want to keep you too late for your other engagement. But what's it going to take for us as a people to come together, to recognize that much? We talked about the airport and the prison. Not just two things that could be significant major capital outlays and expenditures on the part of a government, but they will be paid for over a long time and they will impact our lives economically and socially. And yet we just casually dismiss them. Oh, the government did this and they spent that 5 million, that 50 million, whatever the sum is. Or we should have done this, we didn't do this, and we leave it. And then we throw into that the mix of education, formal instruction, tertiary education, and the like. We're talking. But what are we doing that is productive and positive?
Nothing, really. And it comes down to patriotism and love for your country and for each other.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to leave you with this.
Yes, sir.
I found this last night, and I decided stayed up last night trying to type it out. I've loaded it. Now, Sterling, have you ever heard about a movie called Casablanca?
I actually like that movie.
Casablanca is one of the great epics. Yeah, it was, and the song in it. Now, Casablanca was filmed about the World War II. The great
Humphrey Bogart, huh?
Yeah, Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman, and it was about the throes, the crisis that men go through that test their tenacity and test their love and for their country and the patriotism and the love for each other.
Yeah.
Very sad movie, but something. It was during that terrible time of the World War II, as I said. And there's a song in it that I would like to bring to your attention that sort of reveals what you just said.
Yeah.
I heard that song first on my grandfather old RCA Victrola. You remember those? They had a big horn in it. I
didn't have one, but yeah.
And you had to wind them up and put the record on it and then put the needle on it, and it would turn. The song became famous by great people like Billy Eckstine, the great Billy Eckstine, and all those people. And the song is really an elegy. An elegy is sort of a poem, and it has particular kind of emotion driving it. That emotion is like a lament, and the meanings to feel and express sorrow and to mourn for something of the past that we're mourning for. Yeah. And yes, elegies are very often about someone who has died, but it might also be something that has died in us, our feeling and our relationships. And the song is as time goes by. I don't know when you go home, look it up.
Yes, sir.
And it also is about one of the timeless truths of love. But in Casablanca, the politics ultimate transform love and crisis. And one of the reasons as time goes by is so moving is that in the midst of a terrible war, with suffering all around, it's a reminder that love always wins over hate in the end.
Love conquers all.
And sometimes it's a long journey to get there, but it always does. I want to read you. I'm not a singer.
Somebody said they were hoping Mr. Steve would have seen this lyrics, yeah. But okay.
I'll sing the first line. It's still the same old story. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you. On that you can rely, no matter what the future brings as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs, never out of date. Hearts full of passions, jealousy and hate. Woman needs man, and man must have his mate. That no one can deny. But it's still the same old story. We fight for name and glory, for name and love and glory. A case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. I want you to read that and look at Casablanca again.
Yeah.
Because that has so much meaning for me. I read it. I look at it nearly every time that I feel down and out.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping Susan might find that somewhere in our archive and play it at some point.
Yeah. And play the version by Billy X.
Billy X. Yeah. And I say often, sir, I don't believe in coincidences, but what you just shared, perhaps a confirmation. I have on my, I say this with a great respect. I don't enjoy watching that one-eye monster, as my friend calls it, because often what is portrayed on it now has little or no value. The older movies were great. You didn't have to see the explicit scenes to know what transpired the night before, right? And I'd planned this evening to watch that movie, right? I found an old copy of it, and I was planning to watch it.
Yes.
Now you almost make me want to find company.
Yes.
As time goes by.
As time goes by.
Yeah. But thank you, sir. God bless you,
Thank
if
you
I
for
may say
asking
publicly.
Me, and I'm so happy to be your guest.
Yes, sir.
And I would like you to ask me back again if it's possible.
For this show and for the one that they allow me to do midday,
yes.
I will extend that offer to you, not just only now, but also privately again.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful, safe, and productive weekend. May I ask our people, as we look at you and all of our citizens, whether we call them elderly because the age has gone beyond the 6 decades, that we respect and to use the word that you've quoted from the elegy, love.
Yes.
To love one another.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Steve.
Thank you.
All right. We normally end at 10, and we're not going to change it today. So when we come back from this, well, you might call. I may have a say. So stay tuned.
Thank you.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Hey, is your phone slow, overheating, and dropping important calls? Don't fret. This summer, it's time to flip out with Digicel. Introducing the all-new Samsung Flip 4 with its sleek design and cutting-edge features. You'll flip into the summer in style and confidence. This summer, you can grab the all-new Samsung Flip 4, all just for $145. Flip into the summer with Digicel. Visit a Digicel store near you and grab the all-new Samsung Flip 4 and the amazing 7-day Prime Ultra plan today.
For 55 years, Cayman Airways has been serving as the national flag carrier of the Cayman Islands. This honor is the core of our identity, our purpose. And when we say those who fly us love us, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. So we're celebrating this milestone anniversary with you, our treasured community, with airfares on sale for travel to all of our fall destinations. But hurry, this airfare sale ends August 12th. Call 949-2311 or book online at CaymanAirways.com. Celebrating 55 years as your national flag carrier.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
All right, welcome back. And I have a friend, she always says, let's make it a plan to say God morning. And I thought when I first heard it, you know, how some of us have particular sort of, you know, how we say it, you know, intonations when we speak. But it is, thank God, for a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm honored to have sat with Dr. Steve McField and to be in his guest, not for him to have been mine. Thank you all for sharing. Please join us in a couple of hours for Talk Today. We've got 5+ minutes or thereabouts, so if you want to call and share your thoughts, we're happy to do so. It's about not just laughing. That's important. Laughter is indeed great medicine. It's not only about listening, because that is crucial. Active listener is someone who, and this is what it's about, learning, who learns. And then when you learn, when you know, when you have knowledge, information, you've been given great instruction, you can then do something that is meaningful. We all probably at some point, and rarely, you should say all, but I think in this instance, we all say we want to move forward. Well, I've adopted a new term a few years ago, because forward isn't always the best direction. So we want to move instead in a positive direction. May mean that we're going forward. All right, so let's take this call. Welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, Mr. Sterling. I was thinking back.
Yeah, man.
Like how my boy mentioned about the prison thing. And, I remember when I was up inside of there, how they call it, a rehabilitation state program they're doing there, not really a jail, rehabilitation center. And when I will work, I don't call it working. When I was passing doing my duty and not expecting a great pay, I helped painted the, if I'm not wrong, I think it was a Class A prison van. And I had a great experience with working amongst those people in the garage there. And, I was thinking about when I was up inside of there, how much encouragement I had to come back, which is not really a good thing. But when it come in that they realized the purpose of me being there was to teach a little bit on what I had learned when I was free. And they call it a rehabilitation place, but discouraging people from changing. And I don't know if it's just a lack of the prison wardens that they got there, that they have some of them that believe they are above the people that are locked up behind bars. And I got one little smart remark from one of those prison officers. He might be listening today, he might be fired already. But the man said to me, because I was encouraged to come back, I said, I might even just, take a little position here to tutor some of the people that are willing to learn how to paint automotive-wise, and with the spray guns with the little professional hand, because they got wicked expensive spray gun that I can't even buy when I out of prison, up inside of there, But I enjoyed the little experience, and the officer told me, you think you coming back here to work? You can't get a job. I was like, oh, so you think I a criminal then? So this is from one of the prison officers there, a Jamaican. And I was like thinking to myself, I said, you know what, let me make a complaint to you because I don't think that you understand your duty here as a correction officer. You're not correcting any situations right here now when you're thinking about discouraging me from getting a job when I get out of prison. So
I'm listening to you, and I'm very much sometimes wondering, and I recognize the time, and maybe we'll pick it up later, how we can find ways to come together and understand the importance of what is transpiring, around and within us. You want to say something quickly before we leave, or you want to check it back later?
I mean, he was in charge for anything good, but a good guy I know, when I was talking in prison, he told me something that really opened my mind. He says that they put the dirtiest people to take care of the dirtiest people.
Well, as Mr. Steve shared, maybe our approach to much, including prisons, maybe we need to rethink it. I have some very, very strong views relative to the whole thing. Some may not necessarily agree with them, and at some point very soon I feel increasingly led to share it, and I might just do that. Yeah. But we'll talk, my friend. We'll talk. All right. Thanks very much. Thanks to Miss Susan for letting me sit here. I'll see you again in a couple of hours. Yes, I will have my chocolate, God's willing, as well. Please, think about where we are and what we're doing, and thanks to Mr. Hart for taking some time off, because it gives us, all an opportunity to see things from a different perspective. It's truly an honor to sit here, and even though it is a talk show, it's a different talk show. Have the pleasure to sit in the seat and to have been joined by you who may at times listen to us on our other talk shows. Certainly very appreciative of you joining us in a few hours on Talk Today. And you can continue the discussion. We've got a couple of messages that now give us some work to look at. In particular, a request by two to talk more about the airport, what we did, what we should be doing, and what is being proposed. Well, if I am able to be informed, I have to listen. Are you willing to talk and share? So join us back later on. And as Mr. Hart reminds us, every day closes off, we are indeed our brother's keeper. So please, as he says, as you traverse the roads, be kind, considerate, and careful, cautious, and ensure that you arrive safely. And be also mindful that the hate you give, sometimes the hate you get. So if you give love, you might get love. And if you haven't seen the movie, or if you watched it countless times, watch it again. It's a beautiful story, Casablanca. If you have a nice version of it, as some of us do, and if you can listen to the song as he shared, if you just read the lyrics, I won't endeavor to sing it. I think it's too great a song for me to sing publicly and cause you to laugh at it. But I do enjoy, hearing from you. So join us back in a couple of hours for Talk Today.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And by the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. Visit gov.ky/steps to learn more. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Spread the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.